Hello, America and curling fans from Canada and Newfoundland.
It's an extra half hour later there, of course.
This is Ryan Olson, joined by Daryl Horseman.
Yeah, and this is the, what draw is this? The sixth?
Draw 7.
Draw 7 of the 2022 MoPac Men's Club Playdowns.
Because we have 7 draws.
Yeah, I think it was draw 6. I think my math was right. I don't know why Ryan doubts me like he does, but yeah. Our feature sheet is 2 juggernauts from Northern California, Team Spangler from the Wine Country Curling Club, duking it out against Raju, Team India from the Epic Curling Club in Tahoe. So it should be a good match. We should have all of California tuning in to watch these athletes hard at work today.
I had to point out right off the bat that during the lunch break, Team Raju reminded me that Tahoe Epic Curling is located in Nevada. So it's not entirely a NorCal battle. Right.
Mind you look at, all the membership and who got it going, we could say it's, got California in his DNA. The male might be going to Nevada, but all right. But no, this should be a fairly well matched game. Looks like they start out with a centerline guard. Now it looks like they're looking to maybe hit and roll behind that guard. Right away, getting into the hitting game. If you get the hit and roll here, they'd be in good shape. Let's see if they're gonna. Sure did.
But the lower trails is really almost out of play.
Yeah, and they're gonna have to watch that. Even though they're on relatively the center sheet, you do have that wall effect. So anything with the outturn going away from the aluminum is going to curl a little bit more right to left than it would going left to right.
This is the second rock coming from Team Spangler's lead, Brian Feldman.
Yeah, Brian Feldman, he's a good little curler out of Wine Country. He's been curling for a number of years. Him and his son come here for we host a curling camp every year, and they come and participate, and always picking up little tips and tricks along the way.
So that's going to curl up and go a little back behind the tee line.
Yeah. I'm not sure that was the intent of their shot, but it didn't work out so bad. And now it looks like Raju is trying to freeze onto that stone at the back of the button. And again, kind of getting away from a typical game with that rock being so high in the one zone on the center line. It's almost in effect not even there, especially with that curl on the outer.
And this is their second, Evan Brower. So it's been a pretty full round robin. We are nearing the tail end of the round robin.
We are indeed. Let's just go look at that. Let's get that leaderboard update. For those at home, it looks like Bazrock is still 0 for 5, but again, they came here looking for lessons in curling. Not so much worried about the scoreboard. But Fleming at a record of 2 and 3, Leclerc 5 and 0, Mendoza 1 and 4, Raju 2 and 3, Sigmund's 5 and 0, Spangler 1 and 4, and Tate 4 and 1. We still have 2 teams. Both are on the ice now, so it is possible that one of the teams, whether it be Leclerc or Siggins, will drop to 5 and 1 tonight. It'll be interesting if they both win, though, because then that will create obviously the tiebreakers and bring the LSDs into play. So, I'm curious to see what happens tonight.
Here comes the next shot from Mr. Brower, Evan.
Was that Human who just threw?
For Team...
Oh, he was just watching. Yeah, he was just watching. Yeah.
So,
This is bets.
Bets is now on bet. So a pretty messy house to start the end.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little spread out if you were wine country.
So there are 8 teams in this tournament. The MoPac Men's Club Playdowns for 2022. It looks like they kicked off the guard. So with 8 teams in the field, we have 4 sheets. That means all teams are in action for every draw. And that means we'll go over the teams. That means we also have a 7 draw round robin that will end tomorrow morning. And then there's the possibility of tiebreakers, which we will probably get into as the picture becomes more clear tonight.
Absolutely. And you were saying earlier in the earlier broadcast that there may be a potential for a third game tonight, a third draw. Didn't you?
I'm not sure about that. I know that we have a possibility of a second tiebreaker. If we can't resolve all the tiebreakers in the first one, we would do a second one. Middle of the afternoon Sunday. So instead of watching football, you can watch us here on the MoPac YouTube channel.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And again, this playdown leads to a national club playdowns sanctioned by the USCA. So it's a good stepping stone from going from a club player to trying to look at maybe being like a level D1 player, tier 2, tier 3. And then maybe wanting to take a run at the actual U.S. Nationals.
This is Spain. Chris Hillman, who's been trailing for 20 plus years after being a start in Manitoba. Winnipeg.
Oh, we're familiar. Yeah, no, that's where I got my start too in Winnipeg. Played for a lot of years competitively out of that province, so.
This is now Team Raju's third, Richard Lazarowicz.
Yeah, Richard, he too is currently with a tuck delivery and a corn broom, so certainly I'm not sure where he's from originally, but it's got to be at least Winnipeg or Regina. So, plus it's just fun saying Regina.
The Manitoba tuck.
That's absolutely right, yeah. And it could very well be, a lot of the North Dakota boys that I used to play against. Got the Manitoba tuck, and they slide out with the I'll have to think about it, but he could have gotten started in the North Dakota area as well.
So Raju doesn't have the hammer, and it looks like he's drawing play to the center of the house.
Yeah, he's certainly, obviously his plan, he's looking for retribution this game for sure. He's trying to go for the heavy deuce here. This is a run back by Spangler, looking to potentially triple out the Reds. Yeah,
Only for the guard.
And that's not a bad. Perfect. This is going to force Raju to put up another guard, and hopefully from that last game, the last game that we telecast with Raju, they were maybe a little more aggressive than they had to be in certain ends. So hopefully they're going to be a little bit more patient, while putting a third rock in play would maybe be a good solution for a more inexperienced skip. I think putting something on the center line, protecting those two, force Spangler to waste some more rocks before they move for a draw is the play. For those following along at home with the draw shot numbers, we do have an update. Thank you, Mark, for bringing this over. Looks like Tate's LSD is 351, Spangler 335, Siggins 398, Raju at 541, Mendoza 545, Lafleur 325, Fleming 391, Bassarac 775. So far, the cumulative score, Leclerc Claire's doing all right. When we first looked at this, with Tate a couple days ago, he was at like 160 and well below the average for the field. So it looks like everybody's, and we've been seeing that as we've been watching the clearing. A lot of the teams, like the first couple draws, scores were 12 to 8, 10 to 9. These high-scoring games, and with the exception of just a couple of sheets over the last couple of days, the scores have really shrunken. 5 to 4, 6-5, a lot more conservative. So it seems like it's on par with the LSD shot. So it looks like Spangler's. Nope. That center guard they did put was a little deep. Looks like they're going to get potential to get a deuce or two reds out of here.
A double takeout.
Just clicked it as it just misses went by. So this is going to be another opportunity.
They want to put the guard back up. It looks like they wanted to.
They're looking to, they're trying to be a little greedy here. This is, from what I saw Raju do, he wants to go mid-8, top 8, so he's counting 1, 2, and 3. Not, for the newer curls watching, this isn't typically what you would want to do. I guess
in the first end.
In the first end, in a nice way to say that. Because the problem is that the two yellows at the back are shots 3 and 4. So if Spangler from MoPac can double those reds out or get rid of the whole bunch, they'd be sitting 3.
Not quite sure where Spangler's from Hillman's to the Winnipeg lab.
Oh, sorry. So, Merry Christmas. This is going to be 1, 2, at least 2 go. Shot 1 goes right on the button. Shot 3 on the back button, or on the back 4 goes. The rock that's going to be struck is going to stick around unless you were to throw a 7-second hog-to-hog here. You can get all 3 out, but this thing has got to be just screaming down this.
Yeah, you had to hit it on the right, the correct side too, which from this head-on, it would probably be like on the left side.
Yep.
To get some deer action.
Yeah, hit half that rock. Yep. Half that rock, but it's got to be flying. You push all the hacks, a little wobbly, sweeping for line.
This is Cameron Spangler, the skip of Team Spangler with his last.
Yeah, it looks like. So we got the 2 for sure. The one rock didn't move, which is fine. It's a steal of 1.
And for Team Raju, like perhaps like the best defense is a good offense.
Yeah. And maybe they played against the wine country team a few times and maybe know their strengths a little bit more than they have the other teams they've been playing up against. So, and again, if you're Spangler, giving up 1 in the first end, going into the second with a hammer. Again, as we've talked about this before, there's lots of teams that use that as a strategy. So,
just a real quick message: live streaming of this and other region competitions is powered by the 18 clubs and 1,500 members of the Mountain Pacific Curling Association. Our mission serves to grow curling and foster competition in Arizona, California, Idaho, Nevada, Oregon, and Utah. Visit mopacca.org to find a curling club near you or for help getting a club started in your community.
Absolutely, yeah. One of the fastest and most prolific region in the United States, the USCA. So looking for a lot of good things to come out of MoPac in the next few years for sure. And again, we did, for those who've been with us the last few days, we did a few more, when I say we, I mean our awesome producer, Mr. Ryan Olson, tweaked our volume again. So if anybody's watching on the chat, if you could drop a message in the YouTube chat, let us know if our voices come through okay, or if it's wobbly or poppy, just let us know if you could. We'll try to make the adjustments on our side, but we're feeling pretty confident we've got it, right?
Well, we do have KG doing the halftime show today.
Oh,
so
very
we need
good.
to make sure our volumes are set
goodness.
appropriately.
What did he play? The French horn?
Soprano saxophone.
Soprano sax.
Is it soprano? Or,
All sax?
Alto.
Alto sax?
No, I think it's soprano.
Yeah. Well, all I know is I was pretty jealous of his hair back in the day.
Well, I think a lot of us are still jealous of his hair.
So it looks like that the center line guard slid a little into the house. And it's interesting here.
This is Brian Feldman's first.
Yeah, Brian Feldman, he's been called to do the hit.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah, but unfortunately with the hammer, in the second inning, you would expect Wine Country to throw up a couple corner guards to try to score their deuce. It's interesting that they're electing to go with a hit game, because if they blank 2, they're going to have to blank 3 and then try to get 2 in the fourth. So, it's just not, let's blank this end and we'll see what we do in the third.
No, I understand for a lot of competitive fielders, controlling the even ends, having a hammer on the even ends is desirable, but if a deuce opportunity presents itself or more, you would probably take that, right? Especially
yeah, absolutely.
The level of competition, perhaps?
Yes, absolutely. And we sort of talked about that the other day, right? There's, your end plan can be, a soft deuce or a hard steel or whatnot. So something you could go in and say, we're going to play a soft deuce and do what we can, and if it doesn't materialize, we're going to bail and try to blank it. Or, if the skipper says, no, scoreboard or the strategy is to play hard for the deuce, then it's all out. Corner guards come around, and you're doing everything you can to play to get that deuce. This one looks like it's going to travel a little bit and end up maybe T-line, top 4.
It's actually coming in pretty hot.
So, it's not light. Raju, 6 feet of fury. There we go. Who says skips can't sweep? There we go.
He didn't really have to put much of a broom on that, to be honest.
No, he didn't. No.
Although the importance of sweeping has become more and more important. One of the biggest examples of having a skip not sweep, and this is a bit of a great situation, but like in 2006 when you had Russ Howard brought on to the Brad Boucher team, Howard was calling the shots for the most part. He was calling the strategy, I guess, during the game. Mm-hmm. But he threw second and held the room the rest of the time. And then Brad Boucher, who is an excellent step, and I don't know how he was in 2006, but he was good enough to win gold.
Right.
But it's not entirely uncommon for skips to not throw last.
Yeah. I think it takes a special team to do that. There's so much that comes from the skip's perspective. You see Furby and Netherwind did that for a number of years, and they were really successful. But I think it takes a special setup to do that, because there's something that the skip sees, after the first 6 rocks, that I think really, if they're paying attention, can really empower those last 2 shots. We've had a chance to read the ice. We've seen all the shots. You've seen, really 12 shots come at you already. So, again, this is your blank, and it looks like there's the miss that potentially Spangler was looking for. But I suspect he's going to put it right in the middle again. That's what he's calling. So again, we'll have to maybe talk to them after that. This isn't a typical strategy after giving up 1 to blank the end. But I say, now here we go. So now it looks like they're switching it up. Mm-hmm. So now, to your point, they're kind of going for a soft deuce here. And it's interesting that they would now try to put one on the left side center line, or the T line.
So essentially, after this hit parade, we're now coming to a parade arrest.
Right.
To continue the torture metaphor.
Right.
And hopefully it's coming up a touch light, actually.
All we need is a biter to keep this alive. Maybe and they could be playing the player positions. Maybe they know, Richard, maybe. Is a tendency to be a little wide or hit and roll, so maybe they're thinking, okay, we see 1 flash, then we can split the house. But this is a little late in the end to be trying to go for 2 now without any guards.
But on the other hand, it's a different path, and this is fresh eyes to both teams aside from what they saw during the practice. And so maybe they're banking on a miss to generate something.
Yeah.
In this case, there's not going to be a miss.
No, it's right back in the middle. Now they're going to look to maybe hit and roll back to the side. Yeah, it's just interesting, you know. It'll be interesting to talk to Spangler after this game to see what the thought is here. Maybe he knows something that we don't.
Well, and also the other thing is that, you know, I'm sure Spangler's played on dedicated ice before in longer tournaments, but on arena ice we were talking during the first game, you're lucky to get 6 or 7 ends in. Right. And so sometimes it's like, okay, you know.
Right. Yeah, speaking of that, let's look at his dossier here. It looks like Spangler played at the Arena Nationals, got bronze, quarterfinal, MoPac Club Men's quarterfinals one time. And the interesting fact here is that he peaked in high school when he was voted homecoming king during his second senior year. Did he spend more time in school than he should have? Is that what the second senior year means?
I don't know what...
That's 2 out of 4.
I don't know what is the peak. The homecoming king, or you had 2 senior years?
Right. So you got a little nibble there. So this is going to force Spangler to hit it. Of course, they're going to want to. It looks like they're wanting to hit and roll in now.
This is the last of the 5 skip stones before we go to the skip stone.
Yeah, it's interesting they're calling this here. You know, because this is the whole live versus dead spin. So when they hit this, if they do hit it on the low side, which is right of center, as we're looking at it from Spangler's perspective, it's going to have so much more gear effect that it could roll all the way to the back 8, back 12. Whereas if you came at it with the other spin, it kind of deadens it, and it would just flop over into the 12 or into the top 8. So looks like this is a little wide, not coming around, so it does get rid of it. Forces now Raju says, okay, I see you, Spangler, and he's going to put one on the other side now.
And then the inside out, one of the lines and turns that like less experienced teams don't practice about.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, and you can see Raju's got a little bit of a spring in the step. I wonder if he's still thinking about all the time that they used in the first 8 ends of their previous game. They got a little, they were actually down one full end behind in the previous draw, so they seem to be a little bit more efficient nowadays. So let's see here, this is the skipper's first draw.
This is P and Raju.
And it changes the line up there. Everybody's had a few, out turns to throw. It's going to be an in turn. It's going into the wall, so there's not going to be as much curl as there would be doing the other turn. So
it's coming up really wide.
Yeah. Looks like they'll be able to drag it in.
Yeah, they're getting there. They're getting there. It's going to be about a foot 12.
Foot 12. It was good sweeping. I don't know if they had their best sweeper on the rock, but they got it done.
And Spangler's taking no time to get rid of this stone.
Yeah. Let's see here. Yeah, so let's. While we're waiting, we see Hillman in the house here. You learned to curl in 1998 at the Elmwood Curling Club, nice little curling club in Winnipeg. Well, he was a recreational curler. He's curled various men's and mixed leagues across Winnipeg before he moved to Calgary in 2011. I was talking about Hillman, though. Hillman's holding the rock. Yeah, that's okay. So this is going to just catch enough of it. Does it roll it out? It does not. It does hang on, so the force potentially is on. Force potentially on here. So looks like if you're Raju, you're going to split the house, put one T-line on the left side of Richard.
And then Spangler's going to take his medicine.
Well, he's going to have to, draw the T-line and tie this up. And what's interesting is that they were well on their way to just blanking this end. Mm-hmm. And like that's a dramatic shift to go from blanking and then to all of a sudden after the second say, no, you know what? We're really going to start go for 2 here. So, not to say that it can't be done, but it's not typical. So it looks like the sweeper's getting after this a little early. Raju was just a little light on his first one. Looks like he's, Kevin's going to go out there and help out.
It's lighter. This looks like Raju might be giving Spangler an out.
Yeah, he had him on the line, now he doesn't, so. Yeah, Spangler should just be throwing this through, kind of padding his stats. It's obviously going to be a 4 out of 4 shot. So, yeah.
It's on the edges, and I say from arena ice, and just also, it's sometimes for less experienced curlers, playing to the edges of the ice is not as easy as it might look.
Yeah, well, and I forgot, that's a good point, because the Red Rock was hiding in that red segment of our rings there. I thought it was completely blank. I forgot about that. Yeah, so he has to hit that. I don't think he should be putting that ice on the right side of that rope. He's showing the intern.
Turn heat.
Yeah.
With the last rack here in the second half.
Going to sweep.
Looks like it's going
through.
Oh no!
That's an unfortunate steal of 1. And again, we're going to make a note of that. We talked to Spangler.
Just which turn to take on those shots to the wings?
Well, not so much that, but just the dramatic change in the strategy. Because that went from costing you nothing to now being down 2.
Indeed.
So again, it's still early. There's still lots of curling left.
Let's go around the rings and see what's going on the other sheets. On sheet A, we have the game between Team Siggins and Team Fleming. Both teams are from Coyotes.
Yeah, and it looks like after the first end, Fleming's 1-0. Bazrak and Mendoza on sheet B blank the end. It's 0-0. They're also in the second. And then on sheet D, Leclerc and Tate. Leclerc is up 1-0 after 1.
And Leclerc-Tate game is a game to keep an eye on, just given where those teams are towards the top of the table. But here we are in our sheet, about ready to get underway with the third.
Yeah.
Sweepers basically took it right out of hand. But now they're off. So
now they're off. Yeah, maybe they got a little premature.
They'll slip into the house.
Yeah, and again, this is typically a move that invites a hit.
That's a tasty target.
That's so Spangler just wanted a freeze on this, and this isn't the most ideal shot that they should be throwing right now. And I don't know how many times I've said it since we've been on the telecast, but the freeze is one of the hardest shots on the planet. And again, to score 2, you have to have a guard. And this one is not light.
It's wide too. Well, it's wide for the weight.
Yeah. So interested with this. You know, how do you say this nicely? There's a big difference between a club game that you would play on a Saturday afternoon and a game that will lead to the club nationals at the USCA.
This is the last shot for the end, coming from lead Gilbert Sanchez for Team Raju.
Yeah, and this sort of really plays into the hand of Raju, and even Raju sort of playing into this as well. Raju should be throwing up a center line guard.
It's almost like they followed the same line that Spangler did.
Yeah.
They ended up in almost the same place.
Yeah.
And that's going to freeze, I think, the corner freeze.
Yeah, really close. Yeah, there's some separation there. The bubble's there.
Yep.
But if you... What? So he's asking for another freeze.
I think they're looking for the hit now.
Well, if you crotch it, both roads go, but then you're going to leave a potential double for Raju.
Spangler calls the sweepers off.
Yeah.
But wide. It's going to get actually, I might take their own out.
Yeah. Who's sweeping that redstone? Nobody.
So that changed the rocks in the rings.
It did. It did indeed.
It didn't. It's hard to say it helps Spangler.
Well, I still don't know how they're going to score two without any guards unless they throw all the rocks in the house and hopefully the angles work out for Spangler on his last throw. 'Cause this is going to be very complicated now.
And this is Brower's first, I believe.
Yes. Look, they're sweeping for line a little bit. It's over curling.
They're holding it.
They've held it out, yeah.
But now the double's back. Now the double chance is back.
The double should be played, I suppose. Interesting.
But also, they drew to play into the house early, and now they're playing this type of take-out hit stuff.
Yeah.
When they could have been doing a guard draw type of strategy.
Yeah, like there was...
And this is David Gutz's trap.
Yeah. And, you know, and there's just some truisms in curling, you know. And there's a reason why you go center line guard and come around if you don't have the hammer. There's a reason why you go, guard, corner guard, and you come in, especially with the 5 rock rule. And just statistically, it's proven to net more points or give you the ability to steal. So now we're gonna play the hit and roll. It just seems a little overly complicated. You're only down 2. There's still 8 ends to go, and with no guards, unless we have just a bunch of flashes or half shots coming through. The team with the hammer in this case, Spangler is just going to get one again.
Well, also with Raju, I mean, he's got rocks on both sides of the house, so depending on where those miss, and actually push the yellow towards the tee line in the forefoot. So that would be a miss, I would say.
Yeah, so that one is biting. If you look at the one left of Spangler is biting. So it looks like Cameron is trying to get something over in the 8 foot to his left.
Trying to split the house.
Nice release, nice rotation on that rock. It's nice to see, that's still without that much handle on this ice, which is good.
All the sweepers off. I mean, it looks like it's going to be a touch heavy.
Yeah. Touch and roll.
And that did not really come back as much as they were hoping for.
No, but that's for example, Team Homan, they got Joanne Courtney. They spent a year and a half working on Joanne Courtney's release, so that it was exactly like the Lisa's and everybody's release. So that's throwing with that much more handle. It's not going to curl nearly as much as maybe some of the other on the team. So that could sometimes show you skip a little bit of a curveball.
Here's a double opportunity for Richard of Team Raju. Looks
a tough double, but it's there.
Looks like he's going to hit on the correct side, get some action, and did one out, did the other move into the back 12.
Again, I'm going to say I'm a little baffled. Okay, so if he hits this, he wants to hit and roll obviously to the center line. He's going to have to be careful that he doesn't jam it on the back yellow. And if you do hit it, right on the, if you nut it, hit it on the nose, you're going to leave, Raju another double attempt.
And also, the play's being pushed towards the back of the house.
Yeah.
This is going to look here like just inside of the.
That makes a double a lot easier. Now they've stacked them. They would be well off to guard something right now. Put something, top 12, biting the 8 if you want, but just, you know, out counting that biter, that red biter. Oh, that's Raju. I'm looking at the other screen. They both have been wearing orange. I thought that was Cameron. so it looks like there's a little Y. What the indication might be from Raju.
And this is Richard's first as vice for Team Raju. And it's going to get something. And it looks like it's probably going to wear the tire out of play. Yeah. To the back of the sheet.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's put it, split the house. There you go. Yeah. Cameron's calling it right.
But I mean, the thread of this discussion, this end, has been that this is a really hard way to try and manufacture.
It really is. Yes, it really is. Yeah. For the newer curlers watching this game, this isn't recommended. It might work out, but it certainly is the long way. It's a tough way to do it. Yeah. Alex has got plenty of speed. Supers are just watching. Hillman kind of put down his boom thing. It might be a little heavy.
It looks like it might sail through.
Missed opportunity. That's like having a putt a foot and a half away from the cup and you punch it by 2 feet.
It's going to make a 80s reference to the song Sail Away. I don't remember enough about the song to actually successfully do so.
But sail away from the sticks.
Yeah. Sail away, sail away, sail away.
Yeah, exactly right. All right, so...
Raju, they picked up the pace of play.
Absolutely, yeah. They're not going to be caught twice. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, you don't necessarily need to jog down the ice. Yeah. I'll have to maybe get him some, maybe Eric and Edie can give them some practice ice so he can just learn how to slide on one foot.
I hate sliding on one foot.
Oh, I love it. Love it. They'll be on the bow of the Titanic.
I'm a bit hefty and out of shape, and so to try and stay balanced on the slider down the ice, it's not been a positive experience, I would say. But it looks like the sweepers are going, holding the line. Looks like it's going to be a nose hit. And exactly right on the nose. Gets rid of the yellow, and now it looks like Raju is sitting last for the 2. Yeah, the biter on the back left.
Yeah, I think for sure. From our perspective, it looks like it's going to be just biting. Just biting, so we'll have to see what Cameron does here.
And also, both teams are hustling, so I think it's, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why. Because I don't think I've seen Cameron having too much trouble managing the clock this weekend, but they're both hustling. Not that I don't mind,
but also if they know that the strategy is relatively straightforward, they have the shot dialed in. There's nothing to really debate, and maybe it's like let's go.
Right.
Maybe also keeping the energy up. That's always good.
Yeah.
And this is Cameron's first.
Yeah, looks like it's going to hit and stick.
Hit and roll.
Look around. There we go. Nice little roll. That's fine. It changes the line for Raju. He's going to have to think about something different now. Different line. Looks like they are calling the in-turn, which isn't going to curl a whole bunch. So he's got to make sure that he doesn't set it because he could miss it. Let's see here.
Also, given what weight he might be throwing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that weight there looks like it's going to be at least a control weight shot. He's going to need to hit and stick to force Cameron to hit it and not roll out and give up another steal.
But this is Raju's last here.
Looks tight. I could be wrong just from the perspective here over the glass of Prairie Creek.
It needs to curl up a bit. It's now starting to go.
There it goes.
It's going to hit on the left side and kind of roll back towards the center.
Around, yeah. So again, this is going to, Cameron's electing for the hit. He's got to hit this right on the beak. If he rolls out, luckily where that shot 2 is just biting the 12. Cameron does have at least a good 2-foot buffer, providing his weight's not too much. He should be able to stick around the race.
Now, let me propose this to you.
Yeah.
different players have different preferences. Like some players like to hit, some players like to draw. Just in terms of the size of the target, with the hit, you have to hit about a foot wide target, as opposed to a draw where you have to hit like a 12-foot wide circle roughly.
Right. Yeah. It certainly does come down to player preference. It is certainly easier when you have an 8-foot target to just get to. That is easier. This one looks like it's going to be okay. It's curling over just enough. He threw with a whole lot of weight though. If he wasn't right on the beak, that thing was gone. So he's going to have to potentially bring that down a little bit. Maybe take a hair more ice, play with a little bit more control. But that's one for Spangler. I'll be curious to see what happens in this end.
And this is also Raju's first time with the hammer coming.
Yeah, first time with the hammer. It's the fourth end. We should see a corner guard, but we've yet to see a corner guard yet. So.
And also, teams are doing it the hard way tonight here at the 2022 MoPac Men's Club Playdown.
Thank you, Jonathan. Yeah, Jonathan's saying the sound was poor compared to the last stream. What are you thinking there, Jonathan? Is it our mics or is it the on ice?
I think it's the mics, right? The line got turned up too high.
Okay, well, we'll play with some settings over here, Jonathan, and then hopefully give us a thumbs up once everything's okay. Okay, here we go. There should be a sideline guard. If it's in the house, Feldman throws it a little bit heavy. That's okay. Raju should really forget about it and throw up a corner guard, and then allow Cameron to throw up a sideline guard. Doesn't look like it's going to be too heavy, so it's going to end up in maybe 1-2 zone. Yeah, not bad. A little bit, you want that obviously a foot to the left, of course, to be on the center line. But, and then Raju, and again, you know what I'm going to say?
I didn't guess, but why don't you go ahead and say it?
Yeah, there's some cardinal rules in curling, and unless you absolutely have to, one of the golden rules is that you never try to draw around an opposition stone. Because if the opposition is any good at a run back, they'll run it back, stick it, and now they've got their rock shot, and they've got their color stone as the guard.
But it's also a moot point because the draw is a bit heavy and the shot went out of play. The shooter.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, Jonathan says the mics are a bit weird and then the ice is loud but sounds good. Bring that down a little bit. Thank you, Jonathan.
This is very much an experiment. When I emailed the club saying that MoPac was interested in doing this, I said that I was very forthright and said this is an experiment. I have not used my wireless streaming setup in a dedicated ice house, dedicated ice facility. I'm from the Utah Olympic Oval Curling Club. We're an arena. We have huge Olympic-sized sheets of ice.
Right, yeah.
And so it's very easy to set up these wireless, this wireless equipment and not worry about barriers or, getting in people's way for the most part.
Right. Yeah.
But in this case, like if I need to fix equipment, I have to walk out on the ice, and there's no board, so I have to kind of time my approach, so I'm not interfering with anyone's shots and stuff. And I have to say, everyone from the volunteers for the teams has been very enthusiastic and very cooperative. I hope I'm not getting in their way, and I appreciate that they're not being horribly inconvenienced by all this setup and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember one MoPac Playdowns we had it at the Oval there in Utah, and I almost lost the game because we had 4 sheets of ice, and then there was the hockey, and then around us there was a speed skating competition going on. So every minute and a half there would be a cap gun going off and then I hear that, and then these speed skaters go by, and their thighs are as big as my chest, and I was like, oh my gosh, and I was just so enthralled with watching it. You know, a lot of my team was like, hey, you know, horse, you're like, when I watch the clock, we got to play. I'm like, oh yeah, we're here to curl, but I'm watching all these speed skaters zipping around us. And then that's actually when we took out the hack, and on one of the corners on the east side, west side, we had a longest rock throw, and we actually had a rock go all the way around the far corner. What was it? Like almost like 1,200 feet or something like that. I blew up my shoe, my curling shoe, in that tournament. So
the oval, I think it's a 400-meter oval.
Yeah.
Or something close to that. So if you went half the distance, so there'd be a 200 meters or like.
We started getting good after the first two throws. We throw it really high on the bank and let it kind of curl around to go around the corner. Yeah, it's a good time. All right, so what we got here, we've got some inadvertent. I don't think those guards are on purpose. I think they just came up a little bit short. So we do have 3 guards out on the center line. We do have Raju, Team Red, way behind cover. There is an opportunity for yellow. Once this thing starts to curl, Feldman should be sweeping this for curl right now. He should be sweeping it for curl right now. Attaboy, there you go. It's a little late on that. A little late.
And also, probably for the weight, they could have started early too.
There you go, yeah. So, and again, that's just maybe an experience call, but anyway, good sweeping by Feldman. They are shots. Raju's looking now to, and again, you know, there should be a corner guard out there for red, but there's not. So Raju's going to have to get rid of these center line guards. Watch the jam potential here, because he's going red, yellow. There's a potential for a jam in the 4-foot or the back 8.
And this is Evan Brower's shot. Got some rock action, but got rid of one yellow, pushed one of the reds into the house, but looks like it's going to go through.
Didn't see that happening. That's a good clear, though. It's a good clear. So now if you're Raju, you want to keep clearing. So yeah, Spangler, almost tripped. Yeah, those ones there at the back line. I always move those because I've known too many people that have tripped over those. Those are just a tripping hazard. If you know it's not going to come into play, but I guess that was biting. Yeah. So we should be throwing a guard here. So a little bit of wobble there with Feldman. Nice delivery.
Although if I was going to be overly aggressive, I'd probably take out the red that's sitting second shot on the left side.
Well, that's yeah. It looks like this one's going to overcurl. It looks like it needs a little bit of help. Yeah, I think. We threw. Oh, sorry, this was Hillman. Yeah, Hillman's was a little tight to the broom. Didn't get out of it. And unfortunately, to your point there, Ryan, you just cut off the only way to hit that red out of there.
They can't come out with the out turn on the left side.
They could if they throw it with a nice board weight, hack weight shot. But now what this does is it gives Raju the opportunity, especially with the swing off of that wall with the intern. Mm-hmm. They should be able to get to the low side, which is right of center from the thrower's perspective, and Richard should be able to hit and roll in behind those staggered yellow guards.
And I'll note, looking at that red rock head on, it was about 2/3 buried, so it would have been very hard to come at it from the right side.
This one looks like it's going to overcurl. Might give. Get by. Great sweeping. Great hustle. Well done.
And that's undercover. So now Team Raju is sitting 2.
Yes.
Against or in defiance of the axiom that you don't want to draw behind your opponent's guards.
Yeah.
Or have rocks behind your opponent's guards.
No, it's so. And so here's a bit of a interesting play as well. The way the camera has asked this rock to come in, you could take out or leave one guard there. He should have come with the other turn so that both rocks get out of there. managed to get it out, but he did leave his guard, and that was just a problem of coming with a different turn, because he did leave his shooter out there. If he took the other turn, the 2 rocks would have gone, and his shooter would have rolled, leaving it fully exposed. But still a pretty good result. The work is not yet done for Team Spangler.
Well, and the other issue is that Spangler doesn't have the hammer.
No. No, they don't.
And so, I mean, they did open up the center, which can be useful later in the end, but right now it's Raju sitting 2, and it looks like they're trying to try and put a guard in front of it and just make it that much harder for Spangler to try and affect the outcome of this end.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, if you're Raju, you're saying, you know, come at me. You know, we're in the driver's seat. That's a little
Overcurled, I think.
Overcurled. Spangler's going to want to be looking at that double, but
Yeah.
they've got that back yellow at the back that's going to cause the jam. So they've got to be careful. Yeah, because if he hits it on the high side, just left of center, it's going to jam against that yellow that's just to Cameron's left. So, and again, overly complicated for what they're trying to do. But, and it looks that's exactly what he's trying to do. But, you know, that's, to Cameron's, you know, defense, that's really the only thing he's got right now.
Right, because he can't really do, he can't draw his way out of this situation.
No, but he would really, it would be in his best interest to hit that rock, that shot 2, as hard as he can right on the nose. And even if it kills that yellow at the back, just gets rid of it, then that's going to give him some, looks like he's a little light. Looks like this is going to overcurl. And he's going to hit that top red.
Yes, the top left red.
Top left red, yeah, just click it, and not a bad miss. You still got the same problem with that. You know, if that red combo is made, it's going to jam on that yellow. So if you're Raju right now, you throw up a centerline guard, and you say, okay, Cameron, come at me again.
So just looking for possible outs for Spangler. This is we're now doing poker analogies. Looking for possible outs. Could he draw around that middle yellow guard to maybe rest on top of the red in the back 4?
Yeah.
And
that may be the only thing he's got to cut him down.
Because he can't draw on the right side because it's not he's pretty open, and Raju could possibly follow him down.
Well, you know, if Raju puts something left of center, you know, maybe in zone 2, zone 3, that maybe overcurls, you could come down in around behind all of that. But certainly coming around the outturn side, around that yellow guard.
I mean, it would still be a tricky shot.
Yeah, it's certainly doable. It's certainly doable. Yeah, this one has the potential for overcurling because it's not overly heavy. So once that weight comes off, it doesn't have a whole lot of rotation.
It doesn't have a whole lot of weight.
No, so that's gonna curl quite a bit over. Does the job though. Remember, it doesn't have to be a perfect guard. It just has to give the shooter something to go, that's now a tougher shot. So yeah, the draw is there. Or to your point, Ryan, if he takes the out turn and comes around that the right side of that yellow, that's doable. And again, it's that back yellow that's causing all the problems right now. It looks like they're thinking they can loop this thing around. It's doable.
Well, it needs to curl up in order for it to be successful.
Yeah. The upside here, I suppose, is that, you know, once you get into the slide path, that's when you see rocks really check up as they're coming through. So they'll be going through the slide path here. As long as the sweepers, once they think they've cleared that top guard and the weight is sufficient, they're going to have to get it as much buried underneath that shot rock as possible.
This is Cameron Spangler's last here in the 4th.
Yeah. What he's going to try to avoid here is obviously just, chapping off just a small nick off of that top red and rolling out in the open. and that'll allow Raju the ability to hit for 3. The sweepers are liking it. They're thinking maybe it's a little heavy. They're all backing away now.
It's heavy.
It's heavy.
That might go
Had the
sound
right
true.
line, had the right line. Not a whole lot of rotation, so I would have curled, and it's out. So, big.
Raju's looking on the left side of the
Yeah, licking his chops, and he can, from his perspective, he could probably see a half of that, maybe a third. All he's got to do is get it out. Doesn't have to leave the shooter around, and they're going to take 3.
Or 4.
Yeah, 4 if it curls enough.
Or is that one, the red in the back 12? Is that just, is that not, it's not biting?
You know, it's probably biting, but well, I see that one there. That one got kicked earlier. Looking at the overhead, I see a little bit of daylight between the rock and the ring, so they may want to throw a stick down to it. But if they're taking a lot of ice, actually, I'll be surprised. Huh.
But this is a chance for 3 or possibly 4.
Correct.
And then if the stars align, possibly 5. but 3 or 4. This is P and Raju with a big chance to put up a mitten full here in the 4th end.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Here we go.
Shots away. It's more ice than I would have taken. I would have taken maybe half of that, you know, go mid-12th, throw a board. It's going to curl. Sweepers are calling hard for line.
I think they're trying to push it too.
They're trying to keep it out. It doesn't look like it's hard enough. Well,
there we go. It's curling up. Okay, so it's not going to push it back very far, but it's going to be good for 3.
Interesting. You know, again, there's all roads lead to Rome, I suppose. You know, maybe he wanted to do that because he had some backing, I suppose. Maybe that's the thought process there. So yeah, nice end. Again, you know, I think Cameron's kind of, you know, maybe playing a little bit into Raju's hands here. So, you know, if during the 5th end break, the coach will be having a few words with these guys. Let's see here. Let's look around the sheets. What we've got here looks like Siggins is 3-2 after 3 against Fleming. Bazrak and Mendoza, it's 4-0 in favor of Mendoza. And over on sheet D, Leclerc is up 4-0 over Tate. Looks like they've had the hammer and then they've stole the last couple ends. So.
Just a friendly reminder that this broadcast is presented by the authority of the Mountain Pacific Curling Association. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form without the express written consent of the Mountain Pacific Curling Association, although the event does sound better in the original Klingon.
Okay, well, I'll say it again. We should be seeing a center line guard here. Looks like it's over curling though. And if it's in, that's not the worst thing. Now we need to have Spangler throw up a corner guard. Looks like he's calling the hit from Feldman. Well, no, it looks like it's a guard. It's a guard.
Yep.
You want that a little deeper, but your second one, you know, should be in zone 3, you know, that band closer to the house. If not, they can draw around and try to get that full 8 behind cover, but. Second of the lead stones from Raju. Good little throw.
That is Gilbert Sanchez.
Gilbert Sanchez, yeah, nice throw.
Did it overcurl?
It did. It might have picked, but it looked like Richard was going after with a hard clean, so he's going to give some feedback to Mr. G right now. Yeah, that did overcurl.
So now they're throwing to take out.
Yeah.
It looks like it. I don't think his release is totally clean.
No.
But it was enough to get the red out of play.
Yes. Yeah, you're not wrong. So here we are again. So Raju. So now that the 5 rocks have been thrown, Raju's looking to do the peel of shame or get rid of all of those rocks out front.
I think this is the 5th.
Well, he's looking to take it out.
Oh, maybe.
It's
Okay, maybe I'm wrong.
Looks like there's 1 yellow in the back, 1 red, 2 up front. Yeah, so they can't hit it this round yet. It's got to be.
Is that unless they're hitting their own out?
Right.
This is. I think this is the seconds first.
Yeah.
They're hitting their own out.
They're hitting their own out. That's fine. Yeah.
So the figurehead stone only applies for the opponent's stones. Right. You can do whatever you want with your stone, wherever it is in the house. I mean, provided you're not like touching it with your hands and feet or whatnot.
Right. Yeah, it's got to be appropriate.
Just like prom night.
So. Well, then I messed that up. So it looks like Cameron's asking for a draw around.
Do you think you would put up another guard?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Mind you,
this one might be coming up a touch light too.
Well, we don't want it to overcurl, so even if they leave a top 8, that's fine. They don't want to poke it out the back end. Mm-hmm. Plus, that's a great shot. Great shot. It's going to force. Yeah.
Indeed, that's more than 2/3 bearing.
Yeah, no, that's a great shot, great result. I was going to ask Brower to peel the guard.
And that's very similar to his last shot, so Brower probably should be fairly close to automatic with that.
Yeah. Yeah, oh, this thing is just going to catch the corner of it. There we go. Yeah, well done. So Cameron should throw up another corner guard to protect that one.
And that's so that he's dialing up.
Mm-hmm. And we should see this for the next, 2-3 stones, and then, maybe when the third's second, or Cameron's first, bring it to split the house. So, releases away from bets. Looks like the sweepers are just giving a little bit of TLC.
A little polish.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's a bad stone. Looks like it's curling pretty quick, though.
Might be over curling, yeah.
Yeah, I got a curl in position.
That is about 18.5 seconds.
Yeah, that could have curled another foot. From my perspective, it looks like Richard could see, 3/4, 4/5 of that rock.
It's fairly high, so Raju you can get access to the shot rock fairly easily,
mm-hmm.
or the rock that's closer to the house.
Yeah. I'll see what Richard does here.
Sweepers are on it.
Yeah, sweeping for line. It's high enough out there.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, there he goes, coming in hot. There you go.
Also, just like hitting the brakes, because the trailing sheet is about 140 feet of effective playing area.
Right.
And if you have to hit the brakes about 15 to 20 feet early.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, speed times velocity. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Hillman's asked to throw another. Yeah, you can tell Hillman's been throwing. Look at the way he's holding his broom there. That's kind of a Furby /
Well, also talk about his
80s
lift
delivery.
I mean, that is not too many people do that anymore.
No.
Not very common.
No. This one is not going to be light. We're finally putting a little bit of sweep to it right now. Trying to get it to go all the way around if possible. Not a bad result given that it's a little heavy, but it does give Richard the ability to, and they're lined up, which is a little tough, you know, because you typically, if they're lined up exactly like this, you tend to stuff the one you hit. But
Raju thinks it's inside. So we're trying to hold it.
oh, it is.
Another one.
So this might be an opportunity for now Cameron to split the house
That's what he's going for.
and hope that maybe there's just a flash from one more flash left in the shot making for Raju's team.
Well, I mean, also it's setting up for a possible deuce at this point because if they eventually split the house, that means like Raju is probably going to try and play towards one side.
Well, yeah, or hit and roll and try to get the rocks closer together like we saw.
Yeah.
You know, in Sigurdsson's game. But yeah, this is a key shot for Hillman. The sweepers have to get. It looks like they're going early and they're going hard. They've got to get this one in the house.
It's a little on the left side. They're going really hard.
They gotta go. They gotta go all their way. They gotta go, even if it's just a biter. A biter's fine. A biter's fine.
And that is what they'll get.
Whew. Okay, a little pats on the bum there from the sweepers. Good job. Well done. Yeah, that was clutch. Or Raju would just have an easy hit, and then all of a sudden Cameron would be chasing. So here we go. Now Cameron's hoping that there's maybe a flash or a hit and roll out, split the house. All they need is one miss.
So looking for a hit and roll on the shot rock in the back 8.
You don't need to hit and roll here. You need to, well, yeah, sorry, hit and roll close to the center, right?
Yes.
Yeah, sorry, yeah, for sure. Yeah, even if you nut it and hit it right on the beak, that's fine. Yeah, you want to just hit and roll a little bit to the center.
But you need to make contact.
Yes, that's job one. And this is where you got to kind of check the nerves. Don't overthrow it. Don't set it out.
Here we go. P and Raju with his first in the fourth.
Looks a little tight. Looks a little tight. Sweepers are on for line. Spangler also might hold.
Yep, holding it. It's actually a little on the outside, but just a right on dead shot.
Yeah. You ran the beak, so I've never seen so much running in a game.
Well, also a lot of these players are not on sliders, and so they are kind of doing the jogging.
I suppose.
Because if you're gliding on your slider, it looks more graceful.
Maybe they're trying to close their rings.
Unless it's me on a slider in which I look like this Stay Puft Marshmallow Man skating at Rockefeller Plaza in the wintertime.
So, nice release. I'd say it's a little snug there. They're going for line again. You want to. Luckily they've got a lot of area to roll if it's over curling. Looks like it is over curling.
Yes. Needs to hold on.
He just threw it too hard again.
And it's going to roll out. So this is going to open the door for Raju to
hit and roll and maybe force Cameron. Yeah. Now if you're Cameron and this is not made and it's hit and rolled out, what do? Do you take the point for Cameron? You probably do because you're down 1 in the 4th. You take one now. You tied up.
Well, it's a 5-1.
What?
Because they got that 3.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
So they probably need
the equipment out there. Yeah, okay. So yeah, Cameron's got to score 1, if not 2 here. It's unfortunately he threw that a little too hot.
I mean, also there's something to be potentially be said going into the break with a little bit of momentum. I know some people say momentum's not real in terms of like sports performance, but
it's totally real. It's totally real. You know, you can just see the body language when the shoulders start to slump, or when the heads the heads are held high. So there you go.
Although now the possibilities for the blank.
Yeah, you almost got to blank this. You got to, because taking one, be down 3 without the hammer in the. Yeah, you.
And Cameron is sliding now, so he probably drops down on his gripper and then takes it off to do the delivery.
Right.
And is on a slider for the remainder of the end.
Yeah, well, this would be the last rock for Cameron here.
All right, do you think they're going to draw, or do you think they're going to blank?
This is a blank. Yeah, this is a blank.
Yeah, based on the weight as it came out of the hat.
Yeah. If they didn't blank this, I'd for the 5th end break. Yeah, there you go. So a good end. So for sure they can regroup, think about what they want to do, come out next end and score their 2. It's important that they score 2.
And we are going to take a break here. If you want to update the scores real quick, and then I probably can maybe try to adjust the microphone to fix the sound.
Sure. So we're just waiting. It looks like all of the other sheep last few stones of their end. So 2, or we can take a break now and we can lead off with that when you come back.
Yeah, I'll make my adjustment. We'll come right back. All right, we'll be right back here from Coyotes Curling Club, the home of the 2022 MoPac Men's Club Playdowns. Not the Nationals, not yet. We'll be right back.
Ow, ow, ow.
Welcome back to the 2022 MoPac Men's Club Playdowns here at Coyotes Curling Club, just outside Phoenix in Tempe, Arizona. You are watching our feature sheet game between Team Raju of Lake Tahoe Epic Curling and Team Spangler of Wine Country, just outside of Sacramento. This is your announcer Ryan, joined as always in the past couple of games by Daryl Horseman.
Welcome, welcome. Hey, everybody.
It's been a largely Raju affair.
It has.
With a couple of steals, and then when he had the hammer in the fourth, he really capitalized with a taking three. Spangler has been fighting and did get on the board with a single in the third end, and was able to successfully blank the fifth end to get control of the even ends heading into the second half of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Now that a lot of the sheets have commenced with their fifth end break, we got some scores here for you. Looks like Siggins is up 4-2 over Fleming. We've got Mendoza over Basrak 4-2. And then on Leclerc Tate team, it is 7-0 at the break. So there's some work from Team Tate needed the second half.
So it looks like you were talking about playing a conventional curling strategy, and it seems to be that is what the Skips have dialed up here to start the sixth end.
Yes, whoever texted the Skips on the fifth end break, thank you for doing that. Yeah, I feel my blood pressure starting to drop, which is good. Yeah, I wasn't, because there's just, there's been so many rocks thrown, so many games videotaped, there's just some truth in curling, and again, you can get lucky with not having any guards out and to steal or to get to, but really it's more conventional. It's just easier. So this is two great stones by Team Raju, a great stone by Cameron. Cameron should come through the port and pull in behind that yellow guard, and he's doing that right now. The other option for the newer curlers at home would be to come around right now and putting a corner freeze on that shot rock, and then work at getting your guards. Yeah. And then the thought process there is if you get the corner frozen, or at least shot two, you clear out the guard, they miss one, you hit your yellow-red, and now you're sitting two in the house.
Also, you draw the play towards the wings, and then just kind of worry about clearing the center.
Absolutely.
Towards the end of the end.
Absolutely, yeah. So that's actually a really great shot. It's not as deep as they would like, but that is, again, pretty darn perfect. So Raju's asking to come around through that pour, this is almost like that same shot we saw of Tate a few days ago, coming through sort of the harder end. Like, the curl is going to be far more manageable coming with this curl through the port, but they've thrown so many interns that they...
The other issue is that red rub over curl that's sitting behind the button, and so now you'll be trying to play it on the left side of the sheet to protect that shot down.
Yeah, it looks like it's coming in quite nice. It's not coming over 80.
It's a bit heavy. It's got to bump it back a little bit, about 6 inches.
Yeah, it's not bad. So Spangler should follow him in right now. Follow him in, put it right on top of it. And then worst case scenario, if it is a little tight and you nick that guard, so Okay, so
for a guard.
yeah, so not a bad. You know, he's calling. Let's get rid of let's get rid of that centerline guard.
And this is David Betts'
Yep.
shot.
Yep. David Betts's. And on this here, you may want to try the out turn, so that when you curl, you don't run potentially that red or that yellow into your rocks.
Oh, I thought he was going for a guard, but it looks like he kicked out the guard.
He did tick. Yeah. So, you know, and again, this is maybe just player preference. He could have tried to do the draw, and then had he ticked that centerline guard, that would have been a good plan B.
This is the next shot coming from the second.
Bauer.
Yep.
Bauer. So this is going to be a
Bauer.
Yeah, Bauer. This could be a pretty critical shot. If he looks like he's coming in a little deep, this is going to allow Spangler to smash and roll. So yeah, so this is this is a beautiful shot. If he hits this right, all three reds go out.
And it's also in the back of at or behind the tee line. And so
yeah, absolutely. You got that one. You got that. You know, shot 4 kind of hidden behind cover on the top 12.
Mm-hmm.
So looks like he's indicating he wants this high, hard one. It is going to curl. So this is that wall side. So you don't want to over curl. I'd be sweeping that for line if it was me. There you go. Hillman's going on a little bit.
it's over curling.
Of course. And
But we're going to do at
blip,
least one.
blip. So that's just, you know, Hillman should have been on that. Well, I guess we could have took a little bit more ice, could have threw a little harder, could have swept it for line a little bit more. But this kid should have anticipated the curl there.
So when you are teaching curlers, what are kind of the fundamentals that you focus on? Like, because I know like you talked about hitting the broom, hitting the right weight, and they all work together in concert, honestly. But what would you stress is the most important element for an effective curling shot?
Balance.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, balance. I spend probably when I do a lot of the early coaching with teams or players. I spend a lot of time just getting the fundamental down of balance. Because if you're coming out leaning on the rock, if you're coming out and your balance isn't, you're a little wobbly, that rock, everything's connected. So you have a good time of either pulling it or pushing it. So we work on balance first. Like Richard, just as you use an example, slid all the way out half sheet, which looks impressive, but then he was also 2 feet too heavy. So there's some players. So with Richard, I would say, okay, you probably don't need to worry about, it looks cool coming out that far, but if that's going to, allow you to throw a rock 2 feet too heavy, let's stop that.
Yeah.
Let's stop that. But yeah, for a lot of newer curlers, looks like Hillman had a pretty positive release there. He might be a little scared of the curl. And this one looks like, because of that pop, he may miss the whole works.
It is wide. It's heavy.
Yeah. Well, when he came out, when he looks at the video, he's going to see he gave that a really significant pop.
Yeah.
So we would call that he set it. He set it out when he threw it. So that just takes most of the curl out of the shot.
Well, and also, Spangler blinked a little less then, so this was supposed to be a chance for Spangler to really try and get a multiple point end on the even end, and it's not shaping up that way.
It is not, no. We got 3 of Raju's rocks, all counters. Richard really needs to throw a light guard here. Again, the sweepers aren't looking at it.
Well, and Raju wants it kind of in the top of the house, top 12, top 8.
Yeah. So over curling now.
Now going for line, sweeping for line. Now they're off. It's not too bad.
No, it's not bad. It's not bad. The sweeper, Sanchez, should have stayed on it. That was his rock. And I do always notice that, the newer curlers kind of just, once the skipper says, yep, it's good, they just really stop managing that rock. They really need to stop, stay with it right to the very end.
But also like, walk with it still up until you can't possibly sweep anymore, which would be the tee line.
Right. So it looks like they've asked Hillman to kind of draw the pot, or at least, do a hit and roll. The problem, they better go for sweeping for curl. There it goes now. There it goes now. Maybe a little late on the line call.
Oh, they're going to make some contact.
Not a bad shot. They do, in my estimation, they probably hit that a little too hard. They want to run that on the top of the button and let Raju hit them into the shot position. But there's enough separation now that with up weight, normal, probably 7.5, up to 9-second hog to hog line. You could chip that yellow out and then force Spangler to throw it again. I think in this particular case it'd be better for Raju just to tap it back, be shot, put that yellow kind of in the crotch of those two reds at the back four.
And also, when you don't have a hammer, you either want to try and force the other team to have 1 point to steal, but you don't want to give up multiple points. And so this situation it's coming up roses for Raju.
Yeah. This is the game he was dreaming about today. Yep, absolutely. So it looks like he's going to just tap his back a little bit, do some contact, just a hair. So this is going to. If you're Spangler, how do you score 2 here? Because it's imperative to score 2 in this end. With that rock there, they're going to have to throw maybe a hack waiter, chip out that red that Raju just threw, kick it back to maybe back 4, mid-8, and leave their shooter somewhere around top 4, enough so that if they wanted to play a double on it, you catch those reds at the back. So they're not in a bad position, but this is going to be a key shot for Spangler to try to chip that red that was just thrown out a little bit.
What about drawing in? So they're sitting 2 and they kind of bang to the 2 because Raju can't really get those Spangler. If they draw in, they can't get the Spangler stones out.
Well, you got to make room for your last rock, right? So if you were to draw in and maybe just corner freeze on that rock that shot 2, on his last one he's going to have to throw something kind of up weight. How does he keep a shooter? How does he keep that rock around, right? So it looks like the sweepers are going after this pretty quick. They got to go all the way, in my estimation. They got to get some separation there. You got to chap it off just a little bit. Great shot. That's, just what we were talking about. I wonder if they listen to the YouTube broadcast out there. No, that's absolutely perfect, because now you get to that angle there. So it looks like if they hit those 2 yellows, so if they hit those 2 yellows, we've got all of those catchers now that are on the back 4. So there's no way you're going to get out. There's no way you're going to get out that shot rock that's on the button. There's no way. There's a potential if you hit that top yellow rock on the left side, as we're looking at it on Raju's side, you might be able to squirt that out through the rings on the right side. But in order to do that, because they're so parallel, they're so on top of each other, you're going to have to throw a 6-second, 7-second, just pure weight, that looks like what Raju's going to try here. He's going to just try to whistle one down. So this is a really good opportunity. And if he throws it hard, you might get some rattling at that back to kind of rearrange those reds on the back 4. But this is a really good opportunity for Spangler to get 2. And depending on what Raju does here, a lot of new curlers, once they increase that weight, 3 to 5 seconds compared to what they normally throw, it's easy to whip it out or whip it wide. Or So let's see here. Let's see what the skipper's got in his bag. And Alice Manzel Ryan wants to say thank you for your work getting the stream together.
You're welcome, Alice. This was a fun project. It was an interesting technical challenge, but once I had created, put this all together, I wanted to share it, and so I'm very happy to share this with MoPac to bring it to Coyotes, which already has a streaming system, but just to bring our system to kind of showcase different possibilities that we can enhance and bring the game of curling to a lot of our fans throughout the region.
So it looks like right now on the overhead, Spangler's shot 1 and 2. So they would want to not touch that top red, take edge of 12 and just draw in and get as much of that forefoot as possible. Or no, that's all they got. And with the amount of curl that comes in, they could come through. They could draw through and just chap off of that top red, and they could get to the pot there if they just follow, the shots that they've been seeing all game. This is an excellent opportunity for 3 if he just believes the shot. If he believes that it's going to curl.
I mean, like drawing past that red. I mean, even if it crashes on the red, the worst that it's going to do. I say the worst. I mean, there's always a worse, but I mean, just looking at the overhead. I mean, if he taps the red, it would probably just tap the red back onto the yellow, closer to the button, and the red won't get closer. It won't outcount the second shot.
Right.
So, and that's if he misses.
Right.
In an optimal worst case scenario.
Right.
The best worst, as I now call it.
Right. And it does look like they're calling the draw, which is completely appropriate. I don't know if they're trying to go around the left side of the rock. It would seem with that ice that they're trying to go on the inside, so the center line side of that red, kind of what you're talking about. So yeah, so as long as they hit it on the bottom third, they should not keep that make that third shot.
Well, here we go. This is the
exciting.
hammer shot, Cameron Spangler. He has 2 in the pocket, hoping for a third to get back into this game.
They should be sweeping for line. They should be sweeping for line right now. They gotta go line. They gotta go line. Here's Feldman going. Looks like they left it just a minute too late. It's gonna crash on the guard. That's unfortunate. That's a line call missed.
So I mean, they got the deuce. So
they got the deuce.
There's definitely a positive. It gets them within 2 of Team Raju.
Yes, yeah, and that's talk about motivation. Talk about adrenaline. That's an important deuce. We've seen all this weekend. A lot of rings don't have a lot of opportunity to score the 2. So I think this is good. This is good motivation. Put a little bit of air in Spangler's sails a little bit. That's good.
So we're about to start the 7th inning. We're going to take a quick 30-second timeout, and we'll be right back. All right, well, we're back here at the MoPac Men's Club Playdowns, where we're about to start the 7th inning.
And it looks like they've all shaken on sheet D. So Leclerc continues their streak. They're now 6-0. 6-0. So we'll have to follow up to see what's happening on sheet A with Fleming and Siggins. So we've got a center-ish guard. Yeah.
And this is the first shot coming from the lead for Team Raju. That is
Sanchez.
Gilbert Sanchez.
Gilbert Sanchez, yeah.
So,
and again, they're trying to go around the yellow guard. And the sweepers are watching that go through. It's not light.
It's going to park though, maybe. Come on, park.
All right, Cameron. That's hopefully that one doesn't come back and bite you later on. So
I've seen closer parking at the Mall of America.
Yeah, that place is incredible. I would love to play like paintball or laser tag after hours in that place. Okay.
Well, that reminds me, Kevin Martin ran a spiel at the West Edmonton Mall, which is one of the biggest mall in the Western Hemisphere.
Yes, yeah. It's even got its own submarine.
And so those West Edmonton Mall spiels were kind of the inspiration for what became the Grand Slam of curling.
Right. So nice draw, nice shot by Feldman there. It's interesting they decided to go around that way. I think maybe Spangler just wanted to have a different look at a line of ice there. I don't think they were trying to draw down to that red one. Might have to put that on my notes to ask him for next time as well, because he might very well have been trying to get back to that red one, but he just checked up on him because he was in the fresh stuff.
I mean, it's also about the tee line, so it's something they can use later in the end.
Yeah.
Helping to control the front of the house.
Yeah, absolutely.
This app crashes every so often. Hopefully this seems unaffected.
There we go. There you go. So what happened there while they were go? So this one slid a little bit deep. So here at this point, Spangler should be trying to draw around, those two yellow guards that he's got out there. Looks like that's what he's indicating.
Although he also was, some people maybe want to try and play to the red, but I think he's going for the draw.
Yeah, he's got the two corner guards, and remember, whenever you throw up a corner guard, you put him there for a reason. So you should be trying to use them. So Betts has been a little heavy tonight. Hopefully this one checks up.
Weights maybe a smidge heavy.
Yeah, the sweepers are. Feldman's getting in there a little bit, giving a little bit of. Yeah, great shot. Yeah, you got that red to protect you a little bit. Looks like Raju's asking Brower to peel the yellow guards up front. It's a good play. Looks like it's just a straight peel. It's not a. He didn't give the right ice for a double.
If Matt Hamilton was on the ice, he'd be yelling at Raju to say
he would be.
Move the room.
Straight peel. Yeah. It wasn't the right ice for the double, so that's okay. So Spangler should be throwing another guard. Yes. No. Guard. He's asking him for a guard. Yeah, and Betts just threw this, so.
And now this is a chance for Spangler to really kind of start cranking up the pressure on Raju, really for the first time in this game.
Yeah. Another well-placed shot here. Top four around that yellow biting the 12 is really going to put the pressure on them. Yeah, for sure. So it looks like we've got shakes on sheet B as well. So Mendoza 7-2 over Bazrak out of Park City. So good game. Any win's a good win, but that's a good win for Mendoza and the guys from the Hollywood Curling Club at the one of the newest clubs we've got in the region, Southern California Curling Center. There we go. So again, it's a little inside. You're going to get just a straight peel here. It's fine.
Yeah, it looks like you're
did. Well, that's not so bad. Yeah, that's not so bad. From here, it looked like it was inside a little bit again. So again, looks like Spangler's trying to get to the tee line right around that center line guard. You could go either way in this one. He could have used one more rock to put up a guard, because if he doesn't make this now, it's going to be a relatively easy hit for Raju's rink. Hillman's away. It looks like he's out to the broom, which is good. Looks like it's going to crash if they don't sweep it for line.
It's going to crash.
There they get it. Oh. They get it. No. No. Okay. Well, that's not a bad shot, actually, because that's, the Vegas odd makers are breathing a sigh of relief. That does provide a little bit of cover for the shot stone. So that's what I would call a great miss. Raju's looking to just run that back straight. And again, the upside, if Raju does the straight run, gets the yellow, great. If he's a little wide either way or tight and hits one of those yellows that are on the top 12, that's okay too. It opens up that area. So we know Richard here's no stranger to throwing the high hard one, so I would suspect this is going to be close. There we go. You can hear the hiss of the Cobra as it goes out there. The Cobra is that metallic handle that they put on their corn broom to slide out on.
Ah, yes.
So nice straight peel. Leaves the shooter around. So Spangler should be putting one. He can afford to go a little deep here, but yeah, something just nibbling the 12 in between those two reds would be ideal. Yeah, and even if you were to put it just on that yellow segment there, just to control the control zone.
Yeah. Just to the right of the center.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, to your point, Ryan, this is probably the most sustained pressure we've seen from Spangler against the Raju rink in this game. So.
Well, also it's fascinating in terms of playing the game. Like, some teams can't handle the pressure. They can apply it, but when the shoe's on the other foot, as it were.
Right, just fold like a cheap lawn chair.
And we're not saying this is the case with these teams. It's just that we've seen through our years of watching them playing.
Right. And so here, I think Spangler got a little caught in. He should have swept that just a little bit to get it more buried. I think he was thinking, well, it'd be a little bit further behind the tee line. So, but it is buried, I guess, just enough that if Richard hits it, with a little bit too much up weight, it will roll over top of the shot rock and out of play. So.
What about Trent? It looks like they might be looking at a run back, perhaps.
They're talking about it, but it looks like they
changed it.
Yeah, Richard sort of waved them off, and so whenever you change you should never. Well, I can't say never, but it's very dangerous to change the shot from the hack. This would have been a good opportunity for Richard to go down there, get on the same page with Raju, and then come back and throw it. But let's see here.
Looks like it's
going to crash.
Oh, I thought the line was pretty good, but for the weight, it's overcurling. But not bad, because they're going to pump theirs in.
Yeah, and that angle doesn't help them. So even the yellow-red raise isn't there. So what would be good here is if they rolled around and put a yellow rock top four. So if they do the run, it's going to interrupt that path. So let's see here. But they are counting 1 and 2 right now. So you could afford to be a little light here. put something just nibbling the 12 in between those two reds, and you'll be in good shape. This is a big shot for Spangler.
Yeah.
You know, he could, in effect, be right back in it after this. All right, rocks away. And they know it's going to curl, so that looks like it's not a lot of room. They should be sweeping for line right now. You don't want to hit that red.
Looks like it's going to kiss off the red.
You know, yeah. Again, not a bad result, but it would have been nice if they got on the underside of that red. So Raju's got some thinking to do here. There's not a whole lot of options except for that red run. It's nice to see Spangler and Hillman chuckling a little bit, having a good time out there. You know, I think, you know, that says a lot about the end.
Yeah.
You know.
And just also, you know, they were having a hard time, you know, putting the foot on the gas in the first half of the game. And, you know, it seems like the break really kind of helped them kind of reset and refocus.
Yes. Yeah, and sometimes just, you know, walking away, getting that, you know, minute or two, kind of, you know, clear the cookies, clear the cache a little bit, go back out there, get refocused. Yeah. Yeah.
So it looks like they are going to do the run back.
Yeah. Yeah, Raju's not any, he doesn't mind the tough shots, the low percentage, you know, high risk, high reward shots. He likes them.
Well, this is one of the pressure shots.
Yeah, let's see what happens here. It's not going to curl a whole lot, but it will curl.
He fought to try and make sure he stayed on broom.
Yeah, that might be a little wide, so he might run it back into his red. That's to Richard's left.
It's over curling. It's probably going to hit the yellow. Oh no, it's going to hit the red. Onto the yellow.
Okay. Well, this is the easiest shot for Spangler. Just throw up another centerline guard.
Mm-hmm.
And did he change the angles on that those yellows or those rocks at the? There is. So if you see now, right of the center line, those two reds that are in the yellow segment,
yeah,
those are lined up to go red, red, yellow.
Yep. There's a possible out for Raju. There's a hard out.
Right. But right now he needs to just. And I wouldn't be throwing this handle myself. I would be taking the out turn. Be taking the out turn.
You may almost put it, like maybe, would you put it to the left of the center line?
Yeah, I'd probably take edge of 8, maybe even mid 8, and just have it so it's just somewhat, you know, some piece of that rock has to be touching the center line. Mm-hmm. This one here, if it over curls and ends up a foot left of center, Raju's got an easy, I don't say easy, but it should be a very makeable shot for one, if not the double. So big shot here for Spangler.
He's sitting to without the hammer. Here's his last shot, 7th inch.
Yeah, and you know you're in a good spot if the skipper's throwing guards on his last rock. A lot of good things have happened, especially if you don't have the hammer. So this has got to curl. This has got to curl. And it curl it. Okay, whoa, don't overcook it. Don't overcook it. That will do the trick.
So now Raju faces the tough double run back.
Yeah, or is that red left of the center of the rock just thrown? Is that accessible? It's there. He can throw the run back, but certainly the red combination's easier. They're closer together. You just throw it a little bit off center, a little bit on the high side, and you should be able to run that back.
And it's going to be 4-1.
Yes.
So no matter what Raju does, it's going to be 4-1 unless he finds this miracle shot.
Right. Right.
So the mission accomplished for Team Spangler. They're sitting 2. They could steal, but at the very worst, and I say the very worst for Spangler is that it's a fourth.
Yes.
Which is mission accomplished.
Yeah, absolutely. Not that I want Raju to miss this, but I really want Spangler to get 2, because I really want to see what happens in the latter ends. But yeah, this is a big shot again. Raju's no stranger to these shots.
So it looks like they're calling for the in-turn.
They are indeed. It's a little more predictable, because if they did the out-turn, it's going to curl because it's going against it's going away from the wall. So again, this one, you need to hit it a little bit on the low side. So they want this to curl at least to nose, if not just a bit more.
So high pressure shot coming from Raju, Team Raju.
Well, that doesn't seem hard enough.
Especially because you got to move 3 rocks.
Yeah. Yeah. It looks like it's going to not curl enough. You might have just said it. Looks like it is the steal of 2. Well, kids at home, we've got a ball game now. Wow.
We are all square heading into the 8th end.
Yeah. Yeah, this is yeah, talk about a momentum shift. You've got now Spangler kind of coming out of nowhere to tie this up. You see Kevin, kind of giving Raju a little bit of what he thought happened on that shot, giving a little bit of feedback. Now, if you're Spangler and the boys, this is you got to be grinning ear to ear, and you really have to kind of get that momentum, the adrenaline in check. It's going to be easy now to maybe overthrow, maybe put a little bit too much, put a little too. How do you know that? Oh, are you hearing? You can hear both?
Yeah. We're doing some mic checks, folks. It got a little loud in here as teams come off the ice, so hopefully that's not too much of a distraction. But rocks in play. We are underway here in the 8th end.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see if we got a score update from Sheet A here. Yeah, it looks like Sheet A. Siggins took 1 in the 6, so it's 5-4 for Siggins over Fleming. So we've only got 2 sheets out there right now, so this is going to change the ice conditions just a little bit. You don't have all those breathing, sweaty bodies out there, so that's going to tighten up the ice just a little bit. So we'll be able to see if the teams adjust accordingly.
It's also kind of fascinating just about how precise the sport of curling is, because like back in the day, it was you're just chucking rocks, barely, just kind of polished or leveled channel rocks,
right,
on a barely frozen over river or lake.
Right. Oh yeah, absolutely. And they actually used sheep's blood for the rings, and yeah, the rock would kind of just rumble and roll all the way down there.
And there's no such thing as actually the stone rotating and curling. They were just lucky enough to get it down the ice.
Right. Yeah, the game has come a long, long ways. And I think the first indoor rink was in, the 1700s. So I'm sure they must have thought that was, the game can't get any better now, because we're actually indoors. So this here's, you can see just the difference of how a lack of handle really affects that stone.
Oh my goodness.
Like that there curled 4.5 feet in the last 3 feet of its travel time, because it didn't have that rotation. So and to be fair to the shooter, it could have picked up something maybe, but but they do have, as far as
textbook curling goes, you do have the somewhat centerline guards. You have 2 out front. Raju's got 1 in the rings here, so if I was Spangler, I would be hitting and rolling that red one depending on what happens now. Looks like they are trying to throw up a guard to protect that rock in the house. Looks like it's going to travel a little too far. Let's see where this one ends up.
Deep.
Yeah, you better do that, Katie, before I get the copyright on it. So, yeah. Yeah. There we go. So it looks like they are trying to draw around. And again, this is just player preference. You know, they could do the hit and roll because right now there's 2 counters in the rings for Raju. Mm-hmm. So if you don't make this draw perfectly, there's going to be 3 counters. So this one looks like they should be sweeping it. Looks like Feldman should be sweeping it for the curl. So they got to get this. Oh, they're trying to do the freeze again. Yeah, never mind.
Looks like it's going to carry.
Yeah. Yeah. So if they were trying to freeze, it was the wrong handle. But I think what I thought I saw was they were trying to get around there. So I think Feldman should have been, or Cameron should have been calling for the curl on that.
So Raju's trying to clear the. Looks like he's trying to clear the guards. Is that something that you would recommend?
Yes. Yeah. Because the right now guards is what's going to be helping Cameron. So, almost. Yeah, guards out front. You know, guards will help whichever team. They don't really care who.
Yeah.
You know, so if you're red and you get behind those yellows, great. If you're yellow and you get behind those yellow guards, great. So it's important that Raju gets those out. But if I was Spangler right now, I would be throwing up another centerline guard, maybe be just right side of that stone touching the center line, and just get Raju to waste a few more stones. If Raju has to clean out some of the centerline guards, they're not thinking about scoring. But if you're Cameron, you got to keep in mind you got those 2 red shooters in there that you have to, at some point, look at addressing.
This looks to be the last from the second of David Betts for Spangler. Looks like it hogged, unfortunately.
That hogged?
Yeah, it did. So opening the door again for Raju to really set the pace for this end. They're kind of debating which way to go. They're kind of facing a quandary. It looks like they wanted maybe to make a play on the center shot stone. That is just back of the button. And that is what Raju has dialed up for his second, Evan Brower. And his shot's away.
Yeah, you know, Brower, you know, he's been asked to throw nothing but high hard ones. I don't think Brower's been, you know, he's been asked to throw a draw all night.
And now it's starting to curl, so they're trying to hold the line. It's actually tip the guard. Ooh. And run into the house, knock theirs to the 12 foot.
Yeah, inadvertently kind of took out some of this. Well, no, they still got it. It's hiding in the red segment. It's like the red stone that gets hidden on the Tim Hortons.
Yes, Tim Hortons has the red coffee
cups. Yes, yeah, you always lose one. Yeah, so that was actually a really good shot. You know, Hillman should be throwing up a centerline guard. Yeah, and it'd be important here for, you know, Cameron to make sure they hold Raju to 1 so they can try to score their deuce coming home in 10. So it looks good. They should be holding it for line because this thing's going to curl quite a bit here. So if I was Feldman, I'd be sweeping it just a little bit.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it over curled. So they should have been sweeping it. So I don't want to say I told you so, but the upside here, when it over curled like that, it did force Raju. If he does nut it, it's going to push the shot stone right into that red. So you know, the result was good. The result was good.
Looks like he might be. Is he going to try and get two? Or
Yeah, this could be the wrong turn. Depending on how he hits this, the shooter could roll out. The shot rock will make contact with the yellow, roll out to the left, and the yellow could jam on that red. He should be throwing the other turn right now.
the out turn.
Yeah.
Or,
Let's see
or the
here.
counterclockwise.
Zip.
Got one.
Yeah. So just moved it over. That's fine. He's still shot rock. So again, I would be throwing up another guard.
Spangler shot rock.
Yeah, Spangler shot rock, and he's there we go. He first indicated he wanted a T line to split the house. That's a little dangerous.
This also gives opportunity for Raju to play with those rocks on the tee line.
Yeah, we don't want. Yeah. If he makes this and puts his tee line on the right side of the house, holding Raju to one's potentially in play. It looks like the sweepers are going after it, which I was a little worried about. If this isn't in the house, this is going to give Raju an easy poke at that shot rock to be laying 3. The sweepers better be going on it.
The weight's decent. It's probably going to get a piece.
Yeah, but it needs to go at least to the 8 foot.
It's there.
There we go. Okay, good sweeping. Fist bumps there by the front end. Very good. Looks like Feldman's going to need a granola bar or something. Yeah.
Now, the one thing we haven't seen, one of the traditions of curling is that during the 5th end break, people would have like little snacks and stuff. And the people do kind of come and have a snack bar. But it's like a lot of times, like a lot of places have like little bento boxes or something, you know, like the Japanese team does.
Yeah, you have to. You know, in a normal game, you know, especially if you're, you know, an athlete like Greg Bassrack from Park City, they're going to burn anywhere from 1,900 to 2,400 calories in a game. So, and that's in an 8-end game. Mm-hmm. So in a 10-end game, you're going to burn upwards of 2,600 calories. So. Thank you. Yeah, Greg from Park City just reminded us that there's a pork chop in every beer. So, but yeah, you should have, you know, some slow digesting carbs, an apple, string cheese, almonds, things that'll give you gas. You know, not literally gas, but give you some fuel for the boost for a sustained 5 ends. Yeah, a lot of guys, you know, eat simple sugars. That just burns off in, you know, a half hour, 40 minutes, and you're right back to emptying the tank. So it's important to get that fuel in there.
Also, staying hydrated. I mean, you're on ice. You're not feeling like you're working up a sweat necessarily, but you are exerting yourself.
Absolutely.
And
another key shot here from Cameron. Looks like by the way they're calling that ice, it looks like they want to.
Guard their shot
rock? No, that seems to be too much ice for that. It looks like they want to maybe come down and sit on that red at the back. They should be splitting the house. They should be. He should have been on the right side. Put it, you know, T line somewhere left of center. But you don't want to, you know, help out Raju and group these rocks together. So they're sweeping it. They're trying to get it around.
They're off it.
Yeah. Now they got to just try to curl that. Oh no!
That is I keep saying it, but that is a tasty target for Team Raju.
Oh my goodness! If you're Raju, you're licking your chops right now.
Talked about a pork chop and beer. There's pork chop on the ice right now.
Yeah, this is. This is pretty tasty, and there's really no jam. They need to be coming at this with the out turn.
Counterclockwise.
Yeah, they need to hit sort of just the low side of the rock that was just thrown, have it redirect or carry them into the rock on the left, and you'll see the rock split on either side of that, those reds at the back. If they come at it with this handle here,
They're doing the out turn.
Yeah, they've got a good opportunity for just nutting that left one and just tickling that shot too as it goes by. So this will be interesting. If he throws it with enough weight, he might just get enough energy to kick out that second yellow. But the line is super. It's easier if you threw the other turn. This is still makeable, but increases the complexity.
But a lot of pressure. We were talking about how Spangler had a lot of pressure on Raju the past couple lands, and this is a makeable shot, but the need to make this shot is high.
Yeah, because if he over curls and nuts it, then here we go. What's going to happen? Yeah, see? I don't want to say I told you so, but I think we called it here from the booth, didn't we? Okay, so
how we see things in the booth is different than how they see it on the ice.
yes.
But
So if I was Spangler right now, I would be throwing up a corner guard and letting. Yeah. What do you do here? You know.
or do you maybe lock another one out?
I would certainly play the. These guys like to play the freeze, so I you know, I guess my recommendation is they could play the freeze, and if it happens to end up you know, in zone 2, zone 3 as a guard, that'd be great. But they but they would certainly want it to be on the left side, maybe a foot or so left of center, so that, you know, any potential run back on that yellow would crash into those reds.
But
So,
here we go. This is Cameron Spangler's last.
yeah.
He has one near the button, on the button, and trying to tie that down and make Raju have to.
They gotta go. 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 Why isn't?
It looks like it's over curling.
Why is no? Great shot.
Okay, it just settled
Great
in.
shot. Yeah, it did settle in. There's no real. You could pluck it out. You know.
Like a heavy draw on the right side.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Because that would be the wall side. So it is going to curl more than they will expect. And we've seen this rink get beat on this sheet a couple times, not anticipating the curl by calling the late sweep. So it looks like that's what they are trying to call.
Well, this is the safe call too, because sometimes we've talked about how it might be judicious to try and go for a big end, but in this case they need to pick out the shot rock just to even score.
Yeah. Well, again, those rocks that we talked about, those counters for Raju, they've been sitting there all game. And he's trying to bring them into play right now. So.
From this angle, I can barely see a sliver of the shot rock.
Yeah, but it will curl. So this is where you have to just believe the ice and believe the rock is going to curl. If you don't believe it, he's got a 60% chance that this is going to click the guard, and I think it's going to click the guard. You got Brower sweeping like the Dickens. Looks like it's going to over curl. Is it going to raise in that yellow? Oof.
Yes, it will.
Well, where did this game come from? All of a sudden now we've got Spangler.
But he was going to go out of play safely. So,
yeah,
that's another steal.
Goodness gracious.
So Spangler takes the lead for the first time in this game.
Yeah, I might have to take a break and refresh the 40 Creek, but this has turned into be quite the game.
The Battle of Northern California, Nevada continues here at the 2022 MoPac Men's Club Playdown.
Right. And update over on sheet A, Siggins is up 6-4 in the 8th right now. In the 8th, looks like Wayne has an opportunity to score 1 and get within 1. Yeah, so we're all wow. It's exciting. Yeah, whoever doesn't like curling has never watched this game.
It's curling night in Arizona.
Yeah.
Stompin' Tom doesn't have anything on us.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's all building towards the last draw tomorrow. tentatively set for 7:30, and it looks like it probably will be 7:30. Or maybe not. If it's known that there cannot be 3 or more teams tied for first after draw 7, then we would move the draw up an hour. And so it looks like there probably won't be 3 teams that could tie.
I don't think so. No. Well, no, there won't. Yeah, with Tate, it's going to come down to just Siggins. If Siggins wins tonight, it'll be Siggins and Leclerc, both at 6-0.
So after tonight, we would need to see if there's a possibility of 3 teams finishing 6-1, and that would be the possible 3-way tie.
Which I don't think at this point it is, because Tate's got his 2 losses. There's only 2 teams that have 5-0.
So we're going to be crunching these numbers and get back to you.
So yeah, it looks like we, if you heard any of that oohing and awing in the warm room, that was an errant shot by Mike to open up the 4-foot promoter rock of Fleming's into the house. So it looks like Fleming has the fairly germane draw for 3 here.
So who won a sheet D again, if you could please remind
Sheet D, that was Leclerc.
So
10-zip.
Leclerc is undefeated.
Yep.
Tate now is 4-2.
Yep.
And so, like, depending on how Siggins does.
Yeah. And Siggins, Fleming is drawing for 3 right now, and he would be taking the lead 7-6 if he makes this. If he comes in a little light, at a minimum, it's tied going into the 9th.
It doesn't seem likely that there could possibly be 3 teams tied for first at the end of at the end of round robin, but that's why we play the games. We have to see for sure.
Right. Oh, you sailed it through, so a little wide, or I mean a little long. So it's now tied 6-6. Against Fleming and Siggins.
Although that was Fleming's hammer shot, right?
It was.
So Fleming would have the hammer and even end, so he does have the chance, depending on how the 9th end goes, to be in a really good shape, coming home to get an upset win over Team Siggins.
Absolutely, yep, absolutely. So what do we got here? We've got a couple corner guard attempts. We've got a couple center line guard attempts. Again, Spangler in good shape again. You know, clearly the momentum's shifted all Spangler.
Yeah.
In the last few ends here.
And just around those corner guards, very smooth.
Yeah.
And just again ramping up the pressure. Although now Raju could maybe try and run back the guards.
Well, yeah, but he needs the guards he needs the guards to score.
Of course.
So I think what's he trying to do here? Trying to hit. I didn't quite see what it looks like he's trying to run back that center line, that red.
Yep. Just to the right of the center.
Yeah. And of course, he's got a second man doing that Brower.
Looks like it's going to be.
Ooh, okay. Well, no harm, no foul. This is going to be another opportunity for Carmen to throw in a. You don't need so much a guard there, Carmen. You don't need a guard there either. You really. Well, colder. Yeah, no. So something a little bit closer to the rings would be better, because there is that double. There is the double opportunity on those yellows. Mm-hmm. So if he were to put something just to nibbling the center line, just to protect that yellow rock that's right of center, that would be ideal.
Well, and it looks like that was ultimately the call he made. So it took a while, but he
finally got there, yeah. And even if he did just maybe bump on that red that's closer to the center line and just kind of bump over, protect a little bit more of that yellow and kind of spill over as a guard, that'd be okay too. So it looks like he's coming in around again. Nice shot. Unfortunately, it does leave an easier double if Raju wants to get Brower to throw it. Remember, Brower hasn't thrown anything slower than 8 seconds tonight. So this is right in his wheelhouse.
Well, the other thing is that if Raju gets lucky, it could be a triple.
It'd be a little tough. That second rock might go over top. Depends which one he hits first. But he did get the double. Nice shot by Brower.
Beauty.
So what we should see here is a hit and roll. Ooh, interesting call. I can't say I'm not disappointed by that. It's a little unexpected, but no, that's a great call. It's a great call.
But it's also down the same path that they've been throwing it on, or near the same path.
The only problem, I guess, where I would be a little hesitant is that red rock on the top 8 is in a really usable position that could hurt Spangler at some point. So you either guard it now or you hit and roll, and you deal with it. You don't want to let it sit there and just abscess over the end here. So let's see what he does here. Looks like this isn't going to be light. The sweepers don't mind it.
Up a bunch.
Yeah. Is it going to check up in time? And it does. It looks like it maybe overcurls just a hair. Yeah, because you could get to the high side and punch that red into the yellow. I don't think maybe Raju has seen that yet.
It looks like he's calling for just a draw to come behind.
You get there.
Yep.
You could do that for sure. But yeah, this is, and that's sort of the problem, right? Like, while Spangler it's a great idea to throw a guard. Now, if Richard here just throws a pistol and puts one top of the button, that perfect guard you just threw is actually hurting you now.
Yeah.
So, but you don't have a crystal ball. You don't know what's going to happen. So. Looks like this is no trouble. It's going to maybe hit that red.
They need to make sure it hits on the right side. Otherwise, it's just going to tap it. It looks really good. And it does run it right on top of the yellow.
There you go. So now, Spangler just throw another guard. Yeah, just guard this thing up with all of your life.
Spangler, looking at the overhead that's in the warm room, it is Spangler by an inch over Raju.
Yes.
Biting the 4-foot above the tee line.
Yes. And the only problem is that red rock now that's in the 12-foot can be easily promoted into those red-yellow combination. So another key shot by it doesn't have a lot of rotation there. I'm surprised Hillman threw it with that light rotation. So this one's going to overcurl. They're going to have to sweep it for line. They are doing that. Looks like Betts is going as hard as he can.
Now they're off.
Yeah.
Now it's going to actually
hit and roll. Just a chap off there.
Yeah.
There we go. That's not a bad result. We'd be splitting hairs if we'd say, "Gosh, that'd be nice if it was another 4 inches to the right." But we would take that all day.
Although I imagine at the elite level, you have like the coaches like Jules Ochoa or Earl Morris saying, "Why didn't you drill in those 4 inches?"
Yeah. Earl the pro would be just like, "Huh, you can do better." Yeah, absolutely.
So, looks like they might be calling their timeout to think about this. They did call their timeout.
Not much to think about. They have to open up something. Pardon me. Yeah, they got to hit something. You could run back the farthest red close by the Eddie Wernick wrench logo. That'd be the safest one. They could also run back the rock second closest to the center line.
It's a more straight angle, and that might be more preferred for depending on how comfortable the shooter is.
Yes, because your degree of difficulty, the straighter it is, the easier it is. So that one where you got to go 30 degrees or 40 degrees, angle raise, not super easy, especially coming on the. Well, this is going to be the straight side, so I guess that's the upside. But yeah, maybe going after that one that's a foot off the center line, just getting it because you could where you need to hit that rock that's a foot off the center line, you've got probably a 3-inch, and I say it like it's a 1.5 feet, like shooting womprats on Tatooine, right?
Yep.
So,
And Bader's standing back home. Before I go to the Tahoe station, it's the power converters.
right. So it looks like they are trying to run back that rock, and this is Richard again. Richard's not scared of these shots at all. This can be a big shot. This could be a big break.
Nice release.
And he should be sweeping it for line.
Starting to curl.
Looks like it's curling. Very nice.
Wow.
Very nice. Good shot. Yeah, well done.
Nice release.
And he should be sweeping it for line.
Starting to curl.
Looks like it's curling. Very nice.
Wow.
Very nice. Good shot.
And we're back. So that was a great, that really changed the whole complexion of the end. So really well done by Team Raju.
Absolutely. A little lucky with the redirect, but it got the job done. This does now allow Spangler to draw in and just nestle up against that shot rock. Even just getting you don't really need to do the hit and roll here.
And that is the wall such that it's going to curl more.
Correct.
And here we go. Let's see what Cameron Spangler's response is.
Yeah, this is going to be Betts needs to sweep on this probably early to keep it from bending. Yeah, there he goes. Good sweep call. Great sweeping technique actually. It's going to overcurl a little bit, so they got to get it around that yellow guard.
It looks like it's going to actually crash into the guard.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. This is a really well played in until that good shot by Richard.
And so now for Raju, he can kind of pocket what he has, as it were. Maybe put something high, like in the two guard zone, like a mid guard, and just kind of maybe close off a path or.
Well, no, he's got the hammer, right? So he could, there's all those rocks out front. If I was Raju, I would probably just try to loop one in around here and try to find, take it really wide. And it looks like that's what they're trying to do.
Indeed.
Throw another one in there, because now it's all got to be up to Cameron to try to run back one of those many yellows that are out there and get it into the pot.
Now, Richard has it set up properly where he needs to have at least 1 foot in on his side of the sheet.
Right.
Or it's not a legal position for the person holding the booty.
Right.
Not like curling is a game of sportsmanship. So there's not to be an official that would come out and say you can't do that.
No. But he could have if the angle needs to be that sharp. Typically, what most people do is just walk up out of the house and shorten the angle
along the edge line. Yeah.
Yeah.
But here is Raju's first shot here with the hammer, with a chance to really have the pendulum swing back in his favor here in the ninth end.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's around those guards, so now sweeping for weight, it would guess more. Kind of whipped off of the rock that was in the top left 12 foot, and also really good because if Spangler was looking at the draw, that draw is not there, and so now he'd be probably looking to do a run back, and that seems to be where he has the broom set.
Well, he's trying to go through that port. He's trying to go through the yellow port, which is super gutsy.
Also, it's wall side.
It's not wall side, so it should run straighter than if you went with the out turn. But this is a fun shot. You could maybe make an argument to play the yellow.
Yeah, down the center line,
and just to cut them down, because this is really an all or nothing shot. If he makes it through the port, he's going to hit and stick, and it's great. If he misses, he's going to be giving up mid-full.
He threw the in-turn, he threw the clockwise rotation.
Yeah, it looks like they need to be sweeping it for curl. They got to go for curl. Got to get through that port. Looks like they're through. No, it just touches a little.
Oh my goodness.
A little late on the line call to get that to push.
And so now Raju is sitting 4 and with a draw for 5.
Yeah. Yeah. The only thing that maybe they would have to think about is that yellow rock. That's the 5th shot 5 is full 12.
So he has to basically be biting the 8 foot to get that 5th point.
Well, or he's got to be closer to that rock that's further out on the 8 foot. If he touches that one that's closer to the 8 foot, he's going to be not close enough. But still, you're sitting there with 4. This is just extra gravy.
Yeah, you don't want to make a risky shot and jeopardize the 4 that you have in hand.
No, and this is even though Raju's got the 4 here, it was really well laid out and by Spangler. Yeah.
It's going to crash onto the red in the top 12.
So it may just be 4. I don't know if the 5th one is. They're taking a look at it right now. Yeah, and that was sort of the one problem.
It's super close on the overhead. Maybe not so much on the on our angle, but they probably might be doing a measure.
Yeah, let's see.
Because also they're so far apart that you just maybe want to have. Yeah, they're calling for a measure on this.
Yep.
So now we have the most exciting thing about curling, the measure.
Right.
No one knows exactly how it does it, but it does it. Actually, we know what it does. It's just,
right.
It's just a pressure gauge.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, this is exciting. And you could have, you've got 4 points. You being Raju, you could say, you know what, screw it, we'll just take the 4 points. You don't really need the 5th point.
Well, also this is the next to last end.
Right.
So if this is early in the game, maybe you would say, hey, we don't know how the rest of the game is going to go, but you only Team Spangler only has 1 chance after this end to affect the outcome of the game.
True.
And that's the 10th and final end.
True. But also the odds makers in Vegas would say, what's the odds of Spangler being able to take 4 when they've yet to do that? Certainly, trying to get 5 is, they throw the 3 rocks, and if nothing's happening, then.
So this is the difference between a mitten full of a regular human being and a mitten full by a cartoon character that only has 4 fingers. And so
Mickey Mouse has got 3 or 4.
I thought it was 4.
I think he's got 4.
Animators found it so much easier to draw 4 fingers than it is to draw 5.
Yeah.
Also, it makes it impossible for Mickey to give the middle finger because he's already given it up.
Oh, dear. Yeah, I guess you're not wrong. All right, so you've got it set here. Swing it around.
So, have you watched lawn bowling?
Uh-huh.
And have you seen how they do the measures and stuff?
Yeah.
It's crazy how they do measures in lawn bowling.
Totally interesting. Red by a mile.
It is all red.
That's a big steal for 5.
And that is a fist full of 5 for Team Raju.
Yeah. Animated character or not, that's a lot of.
So now the pendulum swung the other way. Team Raju has a 4-point, 10-6 lead over Team Spangler, heading into the 10th and final end in regulation. If it does go to an extra end, there'll be additional time allotted and an additional timeout. But it's just a matter of kind of running, for Raju, running the players out of stones. And for Spangler, putting up those corner guards, like building a wall to hide behind and try and get multiple points.
Right. Yeah. That end certainly wasn't. Yeah. That end was really well played. The score isn't really indicative of the effort.
The blue van. The
blue van. Oh, you're making good life.
We were quite concerned at one point. We saw him sweeping a stone back in the back of the house.
Yeah, so this here, obviously Raju's just gonna throw them through the house. They don't need anything for Spangler to freeze on or hide behind. We're gonna see 2 corner guards, and then start looping everything in the house.
We were playing well this weekend.
This is Brian Feldman's first. And as predicted, a cornerish guard.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Cornerish, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, just going to throw this through. It's always a bit of a sinking feeling when you know you've got to try to score it. Thank you very much.
Mission accomplished.
Maybe a little early to come in just yet. You may want to throw up that second guard, but
Well, also it forces Raju to start making hits as opposed to throwing through.
well, but even Raju, even if this one is perfectly guarded on the biting the 4 behind cover, looks like it's a high guard, which is fine. Raju can still worry about not worry about it.
Okay.
Because again, right, Cameron's got to get 5 points here, right? So,
Oh, 4. He needs 4 to tie, 5 to win. So Spangler does have those 2 corners, and Raju's opting to throw his shot away again. So in direct contradiction of what Hamilton wants us to do, he is throwing away his shot.
yeah, it's the curtains are slowly closing on this game.
But a lot of times, like a lot of teams usually want to play the string out just to see if they can make something happen.
Yeah, but it's been a long weekend already, so these guys may want to just because there's still one more round robin game tomorrow morning, isn't there?
That's correct. So now Raju wants to clean the guards.
Just start cleaning them up. Yep.
So speaking of tomorrow's games, at 7 or 7:30 or 8:30, we'll post the time on the MoPac Facebook page. Mission accomplished in clearing the guards.
Absolutely.
Also, the adjacent sheets are vacant, so they can throw a bit of a pepper at it and not worry about running into neighboring players. Raju is going to be playing Mendoza from Hollywood on sheet A. We have Tate playing Fleming on sheet B. The feature game is going to be a bonzer, as they say. It's going to be undefeated Leclerc playing a top team Sidians. That's going to be our feature game on sheet C.
And that could be 2 6-0 teams.
Indeed.
That'll be clash of the Titans.
And then on sheet D, we have Spangler from Wine Country facing Team Bassrack from Park City. And so, round robin, there's still a lot of great games in action coming up tomorrow at 7:30 or 8:30 on the MoPac YouTube channel. The other things also, if you want to keep track of the scores, we have been posting the scores on bondspieler.com. Bondspieler.com, bondspieler.com. I practiced that, so that was not off the cuff.
Did you want to get in the recording release at this point or no?
Just try and, is that a Simon and Garfunkel tune?
I think it is.
Just try and get Simon and Garfunkel to sign off on that. It's like what, you want to do what? Bondspieler.com?
Well, yeah, he really should be trying to put the next rock behind the cover that they've got.
Well, they're also running out of rocks, so
Yeah.
this is the time, or else they're going to run out of time.
Yes.
Because they are down to 3 rocks for Team Spangler.
Yeah, it looks like it's a well thrown stone. Nice line, curling well.
Weight's good. Needs to curl up. It looks like I might actually tap the shot rock back a smidge and roll open.
Yeah, Richard just has to hit one here. Game over.
Or just do a spinorama. We haven't seen a spinorama all weekend long. Everyone loves the spinorama.
Right.
Just ask.
Or you could do the O's route and put it up on its side and just roll it down.
Someone in the war room says the ice maker might hurt someone who rolls the stone on the side, which is also, it is a flagrant violation of the rules of curling. So.
Didn't the Park City guys try to see if the rocks could bounce out there?
So dialing up a hit, this is Richards Lazarevich with his last.
Last rock for the win.
Curling up pretty nice. It's going to make contact on at least one of them and just make one of them go away. Mission accomplished.
And gets the roll. Looks like, to your point, they are going to try to play this out, but mathematically, well, how many rocks have they thrown? 2, 3, 4. I guess they got one more rock.
Yeah.
They got one more rock.
And this will be Hillman's last. Yeah, for a relatively quiet start, they definitely opened up the scoring in the second half of this game.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. They got to get this all the way in.
Let's a tad light. It might touch the top of the 12.
Check up. No, it's a little light. It's a little light.
Spangler says, just kind of does that's all right,
Yeah.
with a hand wave.
Yeah.
But now, again, Raju is in the place where just make rocks go away, and the game will be essentially over.
Yeah, he really shouldn't even be worrying about where to freeze. He'd just be clearing out those yellow guards out front and just calling it a day, running them right back into the pile and making it go away.
Yeah. They're going for the draw. Well, I guess the other thing is that, the shots you make now could be practice for tomorrow's game.
True.
And so that might also be another reason why they're playing to string out and trying some of these different shots.
Yeah, true. Yeah, the game's well in hand. Zero pressure. But again, trying this shot when there's zero pressure compared to this shot when when you're drawing against 2 is totally different, right?
Yep. Although, one thing that I've always tried to do when I deliver the curling stow is just focus on the broom, ignore all the rocks in play. Because the idea is you trust the skip or you trust whoever put the broom down.
Yep.
You hit the line, you hit the weight, and hopefully good things happen.
Yeah, if you're a golfer, it's like not worrying about the water hole that's off to your left. Just drive like you've always done and pretend like the water's not there. Absolutely.
I had to quit a golf game once because I kept hitting the balls in the water, and I had no answer to hitting the water. So I hit like 4 or 5 into the water and said, you know what, this is not fun.
It gets expensive if you do that.
It's a city course, so I got my money's worth, so I called it. If it was a private course, it's like I'm paying how much to be here. I'm playing this out.
Right. So it looks like they need to be drawing through that port, and maybe do like a hack waiter, board waiter, hit and roll, just like Cameron's looking to do.
They need to call a timeout because they have about a minute remaining. And they have to make 2 shots, I believe.
Yeah.
They have to make 2 shots. Okay, so they're saving their timeout. They're going to kind of probably burn most of the time in the remaining minute on this shot. Probably have about 40 seconds, 35 seconds.
Yeah, and I guess, you know, for those who maybe don't know watching, if you run out of time, you lose.
Raju is red. They have more than 2 minutes.
Oh, okay. Never mind then. But yeah.
So Raju is right outside, but Raju is great. He's fine. My apologies. I just saw the 1 minute. It's like, whoa, that's not great.
No, that's not a lot.
But here it is. It looks like they're going to try and heavy draw in.
Yeah. They need to punch that red out the back and just roll behind cover a bit.
Mm-hmm.
So Feldman should keep going.
Okay, so I flipped off of the center guard.
You know, not the worst. You know, there's still an opportunity for, you know, Carmen to hit the yellow-red combo. So Raju and Richard should just guard it up.
So as Raju has less than a minute left, and they've already used their timeout. So they know the situation. Raju's heading back to the hack.
Yeah. Still looking at it. 4:39. That's exciting. You know, you're left with 20 seconds on the clock.
So 34 right now. Raju's getting to the hack. They're gonna probably finish with about 15 seconds. And here we go. This is the last shot for PN Raju.
Yeah.
Shots away. He has 17 seconds.
Plenty of time.
Sweepers are going hard. They're also like.
Oh, he's gone off.
They don't. It doesn't matter if they don't care for hard. Looks like it got over.
Well, there you go. So just a nice, easy hack waiter, yellow-red combo, sit 3.
So the game is not entirely out of hand. There is a possible weird shot that possibly could happen, but he would have to basically get those guards into play and move the red, that sitting shot, out of the way.
I wonder why he's not just throwing coming around right where Feldman walked through and just throw board weight.
Well, if he's trying to play to tie the game, he's got to make some sort of play on those guards because he needs 4.
Well, yeah, but you can't. There's no way you can raise that rock he's trying to hit to clear out the red. Like you like, where's the 4th stone come from? It's like it's easier to find the shooter from Dallas. Yeah. This might be, to your point, this might be just one of those practice shots. Maybe they don't have a lot of practice with the kind of the run back angles, but and this got to be so precise because he's got a better than 50% chance of clicking that yellow guard as he's going by. It doesn't look like it's heavy enough, and it's over curling.
I mean, there's also just kind of to see what happens. It's also going to bump the red.
Yeah.
And that's going to be ball game. It's going to be another point for Raju, but that was just kind of a formality.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's a good game.
So that finishes things on sheet C. It's an 11-6 win by Team Raju of Lake Tahoe, epic curling over Team Spangler of Wine Country Curling. Well-fought battle. Spangler was down early, but he made a comeback and held the lead.
Congratulations, guys. That was a heck of a comeback. That second half was fire, as the kids say.
We don't know if we're going to need the second tiebreaker at this point because Siggins is still playing their game. Siggins is up by 2. It's an 8-6 game. They just shook hands. No, they're not. Sorry. Fist bumps for a good play, but not fist bumps for end of game.
Well, yeah, Wayne Fleming needs 2 to tie, 3 to win, and they are sitting 1-2 with 1 frozen. So Mike's trying to think of how to get rid of that shot rock so Wayne can't, and Wayne has a hammer. How do you get the deuce?
So this is going to be a big shot coming for Team Sidians. They have the hammer. No, they don't have the hammer.
They don't have the hammer.
But they're throwing their last shot. That's what I meant.
You got there.
That's curling. You did there eventually.
Yeah, and this is going to come off the wall, so it's going to curl like a son of a gun.
So if you or your business would like to become a sponsor for MoPac, our competitions, or our live streaming service, visit mopacca.org and click on the contact link on the right-hand side of the page. So we will take toy sponsors of certain types of toys, not those toys, other types of toys. You know the types of toys I'm talking about. How much to allude to this controversy that World Curling Federation found itself in?
Right, yeah. You know we're getting late in the broadcast when the innuendos start to fly.
Hey, it's all about the high hard one.
Sweet with you, I barely even know you.
So we're sticking with sheet A. We're just kind of doing play-by-play. Stepping into the hack is the skip of Team Sidians.
Yeah, Mike Siggins. Yeah, and it looks like he's trying to just corner freeze onto the shot stone of Wayne Fleming. Looks like the weight's doing okay. Sweeping it for a little bit of line because they know it's going to curl.
The weights, they're really managing the weight really well. I got a tap.
And it might still be yellow. So it looks like Wayne Fleming does have a shot to kind of do an in-off to be counting 2 to force this to go into extra ends.
So here comes the shots for the skip of Team Fleming. The weight's pretty good on this shot. Sweepers are now going as it crosses the scoring hog line. Really sweeping hard, trying to, it nudges the red out, but it's going to roll too far.
Well, it looks like they got 2.
It looks like they might have to measure.
Here we go. Here's another measurement. So
we love measuring here at the Curling Club. Looking at the overhead, it does look very close. So, I think. All right, 2 yellow.
All right, we're at some free curling, so.
So we'll probably have to leave it there, unfortunately.
Yep. We'll call it. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow at 7:30, 8 o'clock. Go to the MoPac Facebook page to catch the live stream, and we'll be here bringing you all the action from the 2022 men's MoPac Playdowns. On behalf of Ryan Olson, myself, Darrell Horseman, wish you good curling and good night.